He attempted to shake me off, bucking and snarling as he ran out of oxygen. A sudden whimper escaped his throat, and he collapsed on the ground, struggling to breathe. He whined loudly in surrender, but I held on until I was certain he passed out. When I felt the fur recede, signaling his return to human form, I released him and stepped off his naked body. He was small and pathetic once more. But luckily for him, still alive. I walked away without a backward glance as the rest of the team hopped the wooden fence to check on their fallen comrade. Once they confirmed he was still breathing, the biggest one shouted angrily, "You psycho bitch! You could have killed him!" I stooped to grab one of my practice swords, calmly wiping the flat of the blade on my leather pant leg. He should have thought of that before he shifted during a training session and challenged a stronger wolf. He's lucky I didn't kill him. "You're full of shit," he snorted. "I bet any of us could take you. You just don't want anyone to see your freak of a wolf. No wonder you spent so much time learning sword fighting. Your wolf just isn't up for the challenge of a real male. Frigid bitch." I finished collecting and cleaning my second sword, ignoring the angry snarl of my wolf. It wouldn't help anyone to give in to his goading, I reminded myself. Focusing on my control, I breathed in deeply and resolved to ignore the taunting. However, I forgot that we had an audience. A pale streak crossed my vision in the taunter's direction. Shit. The sound of fist meeting face seemed to echo in the suddenly silent training arena. "You fucking apologize, pup!" Emery shouted. Sighing, I turned just in time to see the much stronger man hit Emery with an uppercut so hard his head snapped backward, lean frame flying several feet until his unconscious body landed in the dirt. My wolf strained at my control, and I narrowly kept her within the reins as I charged the taunter, spinning behind him and knocking the bully to his knees with a swift kick. Placing one knee on his back, I scissored his neck between my swords. "There is no honor in beating a weaker foe," I hissed. "But for you, I may make an exception. It seems you have not yet learned your lesson." "He attacked me first," he choked out. The training swords were blunted, so they didn't slice his flesh to ribbons. But the pressure of the steel on his neck was still uncomfortable enough to make him rethink his position. He held perfectly still, his scent tainted with the bitter tang of fear. "He's not a challenge to you," I growled. "As you were well aware, you beat him because you could. That is a sign of weakness and cowardice, not strength. You're a pathetic excuse for a warrior." I withdrew my swords and the knee from his back, then gave him a sharp kick that sent him sprawling in the dirt. "Don't ask for my help again until you know your place." Emery was just stirring when I reached him, shaking dirt and bits of straw from his wavy brown hair. He grinned when I offered him a hand up, then winced. "Ow, he didn't break my face, did he?" He rose and stretched, his lean frame half a foot taller than my 5'7", before ducking his face closer to mine for inspection. The sweet, untainted scent of chocolate and cinnamon filled my senses, and I breathed him in with relief. I lightly ran my fingers along his narrow jaw, pressing gently as I traced the sharp curve below his ear, down to his adorably cleft chin and up the other side. "Nope, you're not broken. It'll swell up, but you'll be fine in a few hours. Thank the ancients." I brushed my hands over his wide shoulders, helping to remove the dirt from his fall. "That was stupid, by the way," I commented mildly. "You know he's much more dominant than you, even as a pup." Emery shrugged, unapologetically re-rolling his sleeves. "He shouldn't have spoken to you like that. You're doing him and his pathetic friends a favor. They're lucky you didn't kill them all. If you would not defend yourself, someone had to." His warm brown eyes met mine with a glint of mischief. "If your wolf wants to teach them a lesson, I could leave for a few minutes. By the time I get the healers and return, she should be about finished." I chuckled. As tempting as that is, it wouldn't please Alpha for me to be teaching that kind of lesson to his newest warriors. They're just young. They'll learn. Emery wrapped a lean, muscular arm around my shoulders, squeezing lightly. "You're too kind, Kalia. If it were me, I'd unleash the beast and give them all an epic beatdown."